I have rows of gems on the bookshelves in front of me above my computer. They are like gold dust to me, but they are not made of gold, nor are they particularly rare or expensive. They are a girl's best friend, but they are not diamonds. Some are splendidly coloured, but most of them are quite dull and uninteresting looking on the outside. They are all my shorthand books, old and modern, my treasures that enable me to take various shorthand journeys for whatever I want to know. Most of them are second-hand, as I wasn't around in the 1800s or early 20th century to buy them new. I still have some of the books I learned from in the 1970s, which were bought new: a pocket dictionary, a phrasing book, and the big red dictionary. This last one has now been retired off, having fallen into several fragments, finished off by its extensive use in the early years of the websites. A replacement has now taken its place, as there is no let-up in searching for and checking on correct outlines. A week ago, we visited the Natural History Museum in central London, where we saw many real gemstones. We wanted to see some historical wildlife paintings that were on a time-limited display. Having seen those, we had a mind to revisit the dinosaurs nearby, but the place seemed to be filling up rapidly, with crowds of schoolchildren on their school trips. So instead, we went upstairs to the minerals department. It was quite a contrast there. We had it to ourselves most of the time, empty and quiet, with row upon row of flat glass cases containing every mineral in existence, in all their varied forms. We had to be methodical about viewing it all, so we decided to go up one side and down the other. In the end, we managed to see about a third of it, and decided to save the rest for another day, rather than cram in a tour of all the cases. As we came through the doorway, immediately in the centre is a very large, deep blue topaz, the Ostro stone, weighing about 2 kilograms, which has been treated to give it a deeper colour. It is about the size of my hand, and gleams and shines under its spotlights. We turned right and started with the vertical cases against the end wall. What a surprise! A truly enormous natural nugget of gold, at least 2 feet high. I mused on how the decision was made to either keep it as it is, a rare find, or to actually use the gold. Then I read the caption. It was a model, and the original had been melted down. The real nugget was called the Welcome Stranger, found in Australia in 1859, weighing 71.4 kilograms, and it would be worth around £500,000 today. The Greek poet Pindar, 5th century BC, described gold as a mythological personage. Gold is the child of Zeus. Neither moth nor rust devours it, but the mind of man is devoured. Unfortunately, it can also devour the landscape and its health, with certain mining techniques that consume vast quantities of rock to gain small amounts of gold, or the methods that use mercury or cyanide to release the gold from the ore, especially harmful if unregulated. There were many examples of polished gemstones displayed alongside samples of their original state, dull rocks looking grey and lumpen, with no hint of what lay inside to the casual and ignorant observer. I was, of course, on the hunt for beryls of all types, and found every variation, from small cut gems to enormous, murky-looking crystalline structures. My Shorthand dictionary defines it as a kind of inferior emerald. In its pure form, it is colourless, and the colours come from impurities in the mineral. I was interested to discover that in the 13th century, the first eyeglasses were made of beryl or rock crystal, before they had the knowledge to make lenses of glass. Hence the German word for them, Brille. The word means a sea green blue colour, and the mineral is related to the aquamarine. To prevent myself being an inferior green version, I only need to run round the block, and then I become a very rare and expensive red beryl. As the element beryllium, I am happy to aim for strong and lightweight, but keen to avoid being steely grey and toxic. It might also be a disadvantage for me to be transparent to X-rays. At the far end of the hall is the vault, a strengthened, secure, circular room containing the most valuable items that need extra security. The most alluring was the Aurora Pyramid of Hope, a collection of 296 small diamonds in every available colour, collected over a 25-year period and displayed in a triangle formation. The lighting changes from normal to ultraviolet to bring out the changing colours. If you are going to collect every colour of diamond, then it makes sense not to aim for the big ones. We also saw some meteorites of Mars rock, and a small vial containing a smudge of white powder, which is a tiny quantity of microscopic diamonds obtained from meteorites. Three very dull rocks suddenly became rather interesting when I saw a large clear diamond sticking out of each of them. This is another type of rarity, in that the original find has been left intact and the gem not removed. Some larger diamonds were displayed at the other end of the hall, large, clear, and cut into various faceted shapes. I should have realized that they were replicas before I read the labels, and that such a collection of whoppers would not be lying around in ordinary museum cases. The study of minerals is called mineralogy, and the persons are mineralogists, and they do mineralogical work. The ores are mined by miners or mine workers who may spend their life in the mining industry, extracting coal and metallic and other ores. The word ore is related to the word earth. Study of rocks in general is geology, and geological activities are carried on by geologists. The science of gems and precious stones is called gemology. The most well-known gems are as follows: amethyst, aquamarine, citrine, diamond, emerald, garnet, jade, jasper, marcasite, another name for iron pyrite, onyx, opal, quartz, ruby, sapphire, topaz, tourmaline, tiger's eye, turquoise, zircon. Note that granite has a different outline from garnet, and that silver and sulphur should have their vowels written in. Amber is tree resin from ancient forests that became fossilized through polymerization. Jet is the fossilized wood of certain trees. Coral and pearl are from animal origins. Some gems can be artificially created by growing them as crystals, or treating natural ones to produce different colours. As a child, I was entranced by jewellery, not to wear, but to just possess and admire. I did not actually collect it, but I would often find a few bits of broken jewellery at jumble sales. I was given a few coins, and I had to pay the person myself. This was in the hopes that they would only charge a penny or two, which they invariably did. I just wanted to look at the stones and silver-coloured settings, so it was irrelevant if they were broken. Sometimes I wonder if a real diamond or gold setting ever passed through my hands without any of us being aware of it. As time went by, I came to the conclusion that you could not really do anything with these items, or even real diamonds for that matter, other than gaze at them, and so interest waned. My attention turned to my own version of treasure, this being colourful flowers, which seemed more precious, as they would soon disappear and never stayed with us. When I moved to a house with my own garden, I became more patient, and only had to wait for them to return the next year. They are always fresh and perfect, with a wider range of colours than the diamond collection mentioned earlier, and everyone can have their own at little cost. Maybe I should be growing a rose called White Diamond, Silver Shadow, Golden Showers, Ruby Celebration, or Eye of the Tiger. Or perhaps Little Gem Lettuce would be cheaper and easier. And instead of admiring it, I could have it on the dinner plate, one gemstone eating another.